This talk, Overcoming Obstacles, was given by Sri Sri Ravi Shankar in January 1997 at Santa Monica, California.
In your life, you do face obstacles, right? Both in personal and social life. Anyone here who has not faced any obstacle in your life? Can raise your hand. No? We do face obstacles. First of all, do you identify the obstacle? Where is it coming from? What is the source of this obstacle? You find two things. One is in our own mind, there is a seed, and that seed is reflecting in our situation, in our environment, in our workplace, in our activity. Of course, we recognize obstacles when they are in front of us. And it takes a little bit more to recognize the seed of the obstacle in our own mind. What are the obstacles? Obstacle is something that doesn't let the life energy flow easily and allow you to be in an expanded state of yourself. An obstacle is something that you want to get rid of. An obstacle is always to the joy, to happiness, success. We never say, I have obstacle to getting sick. And it is always related with time factor. There is a time factor to every obstacle. You cannot have a single obstacle throughout the life. There is a gap. The gap makes you feel that obstacle. If someone has no job throughout their life, they never lament about it. There is nothing to complain about it. You know, when you complain, when you don't get the worst. Suppose you have the worst, how can you complain? Isn't it? Complaining is, we want to improve it. We don't want that thing to be the way it is. It's not yet the worst. It's not that it's hopeless. So we want it to be better, right? The wanting to be better brings out the complaint. If a bagel is too hard, you will complain. You will never complain about a stone. Can't say stone is too hard, you take it for granted. Stone is hard, but bagel cannot be that hard. So when you face an obstacle, first of all, know that it is not the worst. It's not hopeless. There is a hope. That's why you say it is an obstacle. Now, to overcome this obstacle, either you become hopeless. You know, when we feel hopeless, that's when a sincere prayer arises from us. A total helplessness will bring forth two situations. One is either frustration or prayerfulness. You get what I'm saying? When all doors are shut, you have done all that you could do to improve a situation and it is not happening. What do? You get frustrated, want to jump into the ocean, jump off the cliff. When situation is boggling you like that, frustration is in one hand, the other hand is a deep prayer. Prayerfulness, giving the power over or recognizing that there is a bigger power. In fact, this word giving our power over is really, doesn't mean anything. You don't have any power at all, first of all, to give over the power. It's that infinite divine consciousness which has the total organizing capacity. Total organizing is happening through a higher force, power. Recognizing this aspect gives rise to a deep prayerfulness. from within. So obstacles do come, you can face it with a smile or with a frown. Let us see what could be different obstacles in our life. First is disease. Disease is an obstacle for our life. Any illnesses. So we don't have to go much into details. You know how to take care of it. You get a cold or a cough or a flu or not something, leg aches here and a muscle pull out there and you need to see a chiropractic here and there. So these things are part of life. They do happen. Get sickness. And when we violate the laws of nature, we fall sick. Definitely. No? You overeating and oversleeping and doing all that. Sleep heals us. And sleeping too much also is an obstacle. Suppose you sleep for 10 hours or 12 hours a day. On a holiday, you wake up and you feel more dull. Haven't you experienced this? And then laziness. The second obstacle is the laziness, feeling sloth, sort of dull, like a block. Something that blocks you from doing anything creative. The third obstacle is doubt. Doubt about yourself, doubt about other people, and doubt in the happening of the existence. Are you all here? See, this moment has a mind of its own. This present moment has a mind of its own and it is responsible for all the happening in the world. Are you getting what I'm saying? This moment has a big mind, has a mind of its own. And a lot is happening in this moment all over the world. Whether you call this moment as God, whether you call this as a spirit, or call anything, doesn't matter. But there is something that is responsible for all the activity in this entire creation. Doubt in the existence of such a mind or consciousness. This is very common. If we overcome this doubt that this moment is perfect and it is running and it knows how to run things, there is no fear of whatsoever in life. So you move with absolute confidence. See, one who knows to swim just jumps into the ocean, but one who has not learned swimming is, tiptoeing on the shores, scared to jump into the water. It's like wanting to learn swimming before getting into the water. So the faith in the existence, and it is running everything, and that is full of love and it cares for you. This confidence. Now the second doubt is doubt in the people around you. See, you cannot run anything with a doubtful mind. We often doubt something that is positive. Have you thought about it? We doubt in the honesty of people. We never doubt in the dishonesty. When someone tells you, I love you, you ask them, really? They say, I hate you. You never ask them, really? You doubt your capabilities. You think you cannot do certain things. Like you doubt your capabilities. And you never doubt your incapabilities. So when you look at the doubt, it is always about something that is good in life. We never doubt our depression. We doubt our happiness. When we are happy, we are not sure. Am I really happy with the job? I am not sure. See, is this what I want? I am not sure. But we are very sure we are depressed. Our doubt about the society and people around us. No one loves or likes to be doubted, but yet we doubt everyone else. Do you see that? How do you like a doubtful eye on you? So you walk into a shop and shopkeeper looks at you with a doubtful eye. How do you like it? You hate that, isn't it? So without trust, nothing in the world can run. Now you are sitting here with the trust that your cars will be there when you go out. Right? You have a trust in the social structure. You know when you walk out of this hall, your car will be there. Or you go home, you will find your home. And then the doubt about the self, which also brings in a lot of inferiority complex. Doubt in the self and self's connection with the totality of existence will lead us to a sort of paranoia, and we come back to sickness. How to overcome this doubt is understanding doubt, that it is always about something that is good, and being alert. See, when the prana level or life force in us is low, that is when we get more doubts. Have you observed this? By raising the level of prana or the mental energy, the vital energy in you, the doubt vanishes. The fourth obstacle is disinterestedness in anything you do. Suppose you take up a job and that job loses all its charm in a few weeks or months. And then you look for some other job. Then you go to that other job, there also you lose all the charm and joy in few weeks. Then you look for someone, what you call a rolling stones. Unable to find any satisfaction in anything is an obstacle by itself. I won't ask you to raise your hand for this. How many have had this experience? Here, these obstacles, in a way help you to move ahead. Obstacles are not just impediments, they are a step towards progress. When the water flows, if there is a stone, it flows over the stone. When we have that connection within us, towards us, with ourselves, and this confidence, this existence loves us, that the nature loves me, God loves me, and then you will see that no obstacle is really an obstacle. It just makes your life more beautiful. Just turn back and see events in your own life. 15 years ago, 20 years ago, 10 years ago, you thought, this is the end of the world, that's it, I can't handle anymore. The heaven has fallen on my head. You're still existing. See, those moments have passed. Isn't it? And you don't know from where the strength came, and from somewhere you got the strength too. In India there is a proverb that says, every animal has its tail measured. The nature doesn't give an elephant's tail to a lamb, which it cannot carry. So your load is just like a tail, which you can definitely carry. Whatever you think is load, you can wag it easily. Means it's not a big problem. Mostly the problem is in our mind. We think it's a big problem. In Patanjali Yoga Sutra, he called it avirati, means unable to enjoy anything. Inability to enjoy. I remember one of my classmate friend in the school, he got a radio for his birthday present. And he would go on changing stations constantly. He would tune to one station and one song, a music would come. He would not even listen to that music. When 4 lines, and everybody, all our friends would sit and would be very interested to listen to that music, but he would change by that time. He would go on changing the station constantly, so you don't enjoy any music anywhere. Because the mind thinks maybe that station has a better song, so you turn there, and then you go on like that. I heard of someone who said they went to restaurant by restaurant looking at the menus. They couldn't make up their mind what they should eat. It's almost like that, inability to enjoy anything. When you are sitting in the beach here, think of Hawaii. When you go to Hawaii, you think of Switzerland. When you sit in Switzerland, you think of somewhere else. You are in holiday now, you are thinking about holiday, what you will do next year. And next year you will regret, last year it was better. Same with any job situation. Same with any marriage partners. You think the other person would have been better for me. Here I am doomed. I fooled myself with all the words. I was in a daze, I could not judge properly. Where is joy? Is it in an object or situation? This is a big question, right? Sounds very philosophical. But in reality, you see, the change brings you joy, happiness. Right? You're doing something and you do something else. That change seems to bring you some thrill, some joy. What happens during this change? If you observe what happens during this change, mind has left one object. It is not yet used to the second one. In between, it experiences that gap. And the joy wells up from within us in that gap, but we think it is because of that thing. We associate that joy to that thing. And we go on with that, and then after a while we don't find that joy there. Then we want to jump onto the another thing like that. Joy is really nothing. Got it? Joy is no thing. It is the no thing that you experience in between things that brings us joy. And experience of this no thing is yoga, is meditation, is spiritual practice, is nirvana, call whatever, doesn't matter. Transcending, going within, even for a few minutes. Now, even there are obstacles. You sit with eyes closed and 100 thoughts come, all unwanted images, all the past, all the future plans. They bombard your mind. What to do now? Feel like opening your eyes and switching on the TV. At least you can see something out there. See a new soap opera there. Not watch the same old, the repeats inside. Wherein you are not even watching. You become a part of it. What to do? There you can attend to breath. Because breath is the link between body and mind. It's that in-between thing. You know, if you cannot attend to mind directly, through breath it becomes easier. Deeper breaths. Or do something that brings you boredom. You know, one of the things we resist in our life is boredom. You know, boredom has a secret. Boredom is the key to love. There is one thing common between boredom and love. You know what is that? Repetition. When someone is in love, they go on saying, I love you 100 times. Repeat it so many times. When you get a card, you know, Valentine's Day is not very far away. You will see that love is not written just once. You write so many times all around here, there. I love you, I love you, I love you. Love is not satisfied by saying it once. It wants to say it so many times, 1,000,000 times. Repetition is something that is nature of love, part of love. And that is the same thing that is part of boredom too. So if you just be with the boredom little longer and dive deep into it, you reach the other end, that is love. That was the secret that the ancient people knew. That's why they said rosary. Whether you do Hail Mary or Om Namah Shivaya, Om Namah Shivaya, you keep doing, and you get so bored. The secret of mantra is that first and foremost, you get so bored saying that again and again and again and again and again. And then that boredom brings in a flood of energy, opens a flood of energy within you. And that allows the fountain of love. Then you realize that you are nothing but love. You are made up of a substance called love. And when there is love, there is no obstacle whatsoever. Love is that sustaining power within us that takes us through all obstacles. Suppose a situation is there in your job or at home. You want someone to change. You want some situation to change. Just look at it with patience. Don't be shaken by the situation. The first thing to overcome the obstacle is not to be shaken by the situation. Because the moment we get shaken by it, it takes longer for us to get back. And just stick on to what you really want. And it'll happen. and then going deep within. So when you sit for meditation, when all these things come, they could be attended through the breath, through diet, proper food, a little exercise. If you're too worried, just jog on the beach or just watch the sunset. And finally knowing that you're going to say goodbye to the whole stuff one day. This is final, isn't it? Is anyone not going to say goodbye here? If you don't even say goodbye anyway, you will go. That also gives us enormous strength. And finally, the repetition of the memory or the feeling of the divine. That's why it's called mantra. They call that as mantra. It means that which energizes your system. That would help. Singing, that would help. Any questions you have? Will the healing breath help to heal the severe trauma from childhood? Definitely. The impressions in the mind can be healed through the prana, life force. Mind is nothing but energy. And body is also energy. And breath is also energy. So the events in the mind can be erased by the power of the breath. Certainly. Why there is sickness? Why there is doubt? Why there is problem? Why there are obstacles in the world at the first place, right? To glorify health. Suppose there is no sickness at all, who would care for health? How would you even know health? Opposites are there to make you aware of each other. Do you see what I'm saying? Health and sickness. Light and darkness. Good and bad. All these opposite values, they glorify each other. They make you aware of each other. I cannot say glorify each other. They only glorify that is good. But they make you aware of, bring the knowledge of the other. Now, instead of asking why they are there, we see that it is there, na? Then how do we deal with it? This is wisdom. See, animals don't have a freedom. The nature runs their life. But human beings, we have freedom. Devotion is nothing but our nature. The love for the all, for the infinity, you call it devotion. The love for young children, you call it affection. Lovers of your age or this thing you call love. And then for elders, we call it respect. And what do you call that love that you feel for the totality of all? That you can call it devotion. Or you put all these things together, and if you want to have a name, you can give it devotion.
Guruji, what do you say to people who want to end their life because of obstacles?
See, often people who want to end their life, they want just some sympathy, attention from you. Oh, don't go, don't do that. When you say that, that gives them a little more food to sustain for some more days. Self-pity is bad, and it is bad to encourage self-pity in others. But in some subtle way, we keep to be feeding the self-pity of people. It's very subtle. You don't know when it's coming up. No? It really takes some skill to deal with that situation. It is that intense adamancy that brings such depression in person. They are very adamant about the way things should work and the way things should happen. Instead of getting frustrated on that level, if they take just a dip inside and become a little calm and do a little meditation, you will see that they come out of it and things start resolving. Every obstacle can bring something great out of a person. You can open your eyes and look at the situations. Mahatma Gandhi, see how many obstacles he had. Nelson Mandela, he had so many obstacles in life. But when you sustain and go through those things, something big is going to come out of you. Just this confidence or this faith, if it is there, then you will see other things are not. They're just transitory. Every moment is running by itself, isn't it? You don't make it run. Doesn't it run by itself? Now, the choice comes into the mind. You know, the choice is always between bad and worse. Choice is never between good and bad. When there is good and bad in front of you, there is no choice. Your choice is only between bad and worse, or good and the best. And when it is good and best, why do you have to worry so much? Okay, fine, so what? Anyway, it is good. The choice is always the confusion of wanting more. I want more joy, more happiness, more something. It is good to have that up to certain limit. Beyond that, that becomes a cause of tension.
Should we fire the mind when something goes wrong?
Yeah. We convey or communicate more through our presence, not so much through our words. Do you see what I'm saying? See, you may say to somebody, I love you very much, but your presence, if it doesn't radiate, they don't get it. In your presence, there is anger, there is frustration, there is a feeling of failure, then it doesn't catch on to the person. So we have to cleanse our presence. Just like a child. See, in a child's presence, there is love. It's no good just talking about love, but cleansing our presence, our vibrations of the negative impulses, that will help. When we are young, we face less obstacles. As we grow old, we seem to face more obstacles. The more we set the goals and certain patterns in life, the more obstacles we face. What is the relation between this? Yes, there is. That is innocence. As we become more intelligent, we seem to lose our innocence. And that innocence which is devoid of any intelligence is of no use, and that intelligence which is devoid of innocence is good for nothing. So life is a skill of combining intelligence at the same time, not losing that innocence, not losing that presence that we are. Children don't face so many obstacles. The reason is they are more connected to the being. They are more in touch with the big mind. The big consciousness. Can pleasures be obstacles? Obsession about pleasures be definitely an obstacle. See, any pleasure you experience, you close your eyes. Have you experienced that? See, suppose you smell a fragrant flower. As you are smelling, you close your eyes. When you taste something great, you say yummy and you close your eyes. You say, oh, it is delicious. Touch. You close your eyes. Good music, your eyes just close. Don't they? What does it indicate? It tells you the whole secret there. It says the joy is coming from somewhere within. The pleasure you are finding in the music or in the touch, in the smell, in the taste, in any of the sense is somewhere from within. The source is there. A meditation in a sort is happening there. But we seldom attend to the source. We look outside. That's the whole skill. When we are obsessed about any pleasure, that it no longer gives any pleasure to us, but it forms a habit which we cannot get out of it. No? Just like smoking. People don't get into bliss just by smoking cigarettes, but dropping them, leaving them gives them a lot of pain, discomfort. That's a hook. That's why it's called Maya. Maya means that which gives you an idea of pleasure but really doesn't give you a pleasure. You have got to be open in your mind and in your heart. With both alertness in the mind and openness in the heart is essential. You can make anything an obstacle. It's up to you. And when you face an obstacle, you can attribute it to anything. Suppose you get into a problem, you think you got into a problem because you are innocent. It's not because you are innocent you are in a problem, it's because you are careless, you are not attentive. Do you see what I'm saying? Okay, is it a guarantee that you would remember if you listen something now? You may forget this. Isn't it? I tell you a solution now. You think you will remember the solution? Just be playful now, this moment. And if you are totally playful at this moment, you will see when that moment comes, it also becomes playful. Lot of people are dying out of heart attack. How do we heal their mind and heart? That's the question. Definitely through proper food, proper rest, and breathing techniques, and a little bit meditation. See, we have 4 sources of energy. The first is food. The second source of energy is sleep. The third and most important but most neglected source of energy is breath, breathing. And the fourth source of energy is a meditative mind, calm mind, pleasant mind. Attending to these 4 sources, you can definitely improve your health. Many people have experienced this.
Is it the basis for all obstacles?
Isn't the fear base of all the obstacles? Yes. And fear is nothing but lack of love. Or love upside down. Suppose your car broke down on the way over here. What would I think? What would I think then? I cannot tell you now. Let us see what I would have thought. You are sitting in a broken down car, you will look for a taxi that moves around. If not, you will show your finger like this. I suppose they stop the cars if you show like this. If not, you see how far the place is, start walking. There is no point in getting frustrated. Do you see what I'm saying? You are stuck in the traffic and you are late. You have to arrive, you have to go to catch the flight. What do? You know, at this situation, if your faith is strong, when you are really composed and collective, you go there, you'll find the flight is delayed. Once I tell you, I had to come for an assembly like that from Montreal to Washington. And there was only one flight from Montreal to Washington, and we were delayed. And when we went to the counter, that lady said, the plane has just moved. You cannot go in. I have the boarding pass in my hand. Few people were with me. All of us, we were stuck there. And the plane had just moved to the runway. And we said, no, we have to go. So we were there, and the flight came back to pick us up. For some reason, the pilot backed the plane. And the lady said, no, you have to go only tomorrow. She said, oh, no, come, the flight is, we can get in. She spoke to the pilot something in French, and we could able to get into the flight. So, there is a possibility that because you are connected with that infinite consciousness and you are made up of the same substance. So when there is harmony within you, not only your jobs get done, but people whom you want their job to be done, they also happen. That's why it's called blessing, We have this common saying, okay, take blessings from your parents or from someone, How does it work? The mechanism. It's very scientific. That there is a harmony, and from harmony, there is a flow of intentions. There's a flow of thought. The obstacles are removed. What do you say to someone who is unaware of this knowledge? How do you get them across this knowledge? Actually, knowledge is not just in hearing and listening and understanding. It is in the very quality of peace. Do you see what I'm saying? The peace within you carries the knowledge. So if you are peaceful with the person who is dying, just sit there. Tell them, anyway, never mind, I am also coming there in a few. You go early, I'll come later. Don't pity people who are dying. Tell them, okay, goodbye, I'll see you there. Maybe in few years' time. An attitude of peace within you that brings so much calmness and peace to them. It will help them. Definitely. How do you totally surrender and let go? No, you cannot surrender. Know that you cannot surrender. What are you going to surrender? Do you have anything to surrender first place? Surrender is also an illusion because you think you have something and then you feel you are giving it away. So if you cannot surrender, know by knowledge that there is nothing that you possess. What is that you possess? You possess this world? You possess your body? It's all being given to you, right? Isn't it? If surrender is hard to do it, then knowledge should be better. In knowledge, you know you have nothing. You are no thing and you have no thing. And that brings the surrender, the quality of the consciousness automatically. So either through knowledge you attain surrender, or if you are an emotional person, through surrender you say, okay, I'm giving everything over to you. Then you attain the same knowledge that you are nothing and the divine is all that is. Yeah?
Do you believe that most allergies are psychosomatic?
You know, I don't believe it. You know why? I know it. So what you know, you don't have to believe, and what you believe, you really don't know. Definitely, most of our problems could be psychosomatic. The psychosomatic means what? Mind has a say in that situation, right? Body, mind cannot be separated like that, because body, mind is a complex. Our life is not linear. It is multi-dimensional. Truth is not linear, it is multi-dimensional. So, any health situation definitely has the mind's role in it. So mind has a role to play in any health situation. So it is a combination of both something physical and something mental. What's my opinion on Western medicine? I have no opinions. You know, opinions are fleeting ideas which are never permanent. Do you see what I'm saying? If we are stuck to opinions, then we are stuck with some paradigms. Because as time goes, the opinions change. So don't have to give too much weight for opinions. But at this moment of time, because all opinions should always be time bound. At this moment, I say there is a lot in the Western medicine, and we need not be dogmatic either about the herbal medicine or alternative medicines. We need to take a holistic approach. Take all aspects of medicine. That would be the opinion for now.
Jai Jai